Ahoy, hoy, everyone. I am so sorry for the lateness. I had an alarm set for 8, but see what happened was I stayed up foolishly playing a video game I just got for like, oh my god, it was on sale for like I don't know, like $3 or something. God, oh, you know what? All right, I know what happened here. Hold on, stand by. Have this wangle ze tangle with my headphones. Oh my god, what happened you guys are have to excuse me. I have not been feeling well. I've had a toothache for ever, it seems now. Holy crap, how did this get? Well, I know how this happened. The cat happened. But, no, almost. Man, this is, it's hard to do this in the dark. Okay, I got it. Wow, maneuvers. Bing, bing, bing. I got this, empty Rubbermaid container right next to me. I'm like, yay, it's empty. I can put shit in it. I can't wait. It's always good when you can find one of them empty, you know. So we're here. We made it. I woke up in the studio, so I'm literally in half fresh new pajamas, and then and then it's and then it's like a hoodie, a scarf. I have fingerless gloves. Um, it's chilly, Port Plus. I turned on the heat this morning. I uh I was surprised at how cold it was because last yesterday and last night was okay. You know, yesterday was nice. You know, no wind, no rain, no snow, just doing it. And and then I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh, at 8 o'clock, and my body wasn't ready. It was not ready to join the living. Um, Stop hitting buttons by accident here. Come on. We're live. Stop hitting buttons. All right, 1 second. While I thaw out. Now that we're up and running. Um, I don't have as much prepared as I wanted. Um, there are a few pictures that didn't make it in my download. I don't know what the hell happened. They're not there. I could probably whip them through while I'm doing the podcast live. But my intention was to have a slideshow of some of the more known pictures, others of people, characters that I really, really, really dig. But c'est la vie. It's been a very busy, well, you know, mostly everybody knows what a busy time it's been for the captain and all of us aboard Ship Lost. It's been a little hectic up here. But we're not gonna let that stop us. We're not gonna let the fact that it was so cold. I didn't get out of bed until 15 minutes before stream. You know, before broadcast live. I goofed. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna just get my area rearranged here, and I'm also gonna get something to drink. I'm already like thirsty. Like the latest update is my impacted wisdom tooth that no one wants to look at because they're like, "Ooh, that's really down there. It might be worth your while if you just leave it there. Is it bothering you?" Well, it was. It's not now. Usually, how the conversation goes. All right. Well, in my opinion, nobody else is gonna look at this and say, "Yeah, let's go in there," unless there's something actively happening all the time. If it bothers you every once in a blue, I wouldn't worry about it. It's a risky surgery. And I'm like, And I don't want it to in the first place. It's not my fault my tooth is impacted. Oh my God. Okay. So that's where I stand with that. So right now, like, I missed work Thursday. My it's the left side bottom is just like so I haven't been able to chew on there. I subsisted on ice cream and soup all day Thursday. Yesterday I had little soft things and like dissolvey things and and ice cream and half baked ice cream from Ben and Jerry's. Hashtag not sponsored. I just love them. It's my favorite. I used to take those little pints with me to oh man, excuse me. To the movie theater with a real spoon, not a plastic spoon. That it would break. But a real spoon, a real solid get in there spoon. Fantastic. Good times. All right. Let me get set up. We're live. We're on the air. We did it. We made it. It's all good. Okay. Let's see. I'm probably going to keep this on. I don't know why. Let me see if I can move this up. Yeah, that is kind of weird that Nix's picture is like trumping all the other pictures on the list of sources. That's weird. Let's see. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let me try something real quick. Let me see. No. It has to be on the other one. Okay. We're learning things as we go. We're learning. My encoding overloaded. I keep getting that. Yeah, that's always fun when you hear that coming at you. Okay, let's see. Oh, can I do it from here? Let me see something real quick. Oh, that doesn't work either. I gotta be here. All right. Well, we're learning. We're learning stuff. Give me 1 second. Let me BRB, get a drink. I might also need my little ice pack. my hit jaw hurts a little bit, and then we'll get this party started. All right. All right. Almost ready, folks. Almost ready. Just got to get one more thing to seal the deal. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I almost left the studio and I was like, wait a minute. I have something to drink. I know because I drank it before I started stream. I did have something. Good morning, good morning. Okay, we're back. I'm trying to get my headphones on. I'm not sure why, but it's gonna happen. All right, we're back with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Had to have a quick safety meeting with Trashin. He's doing his Bloodborne BL4 run right now. But today, we're wishing him all the best on that. But today we are discussing one of my favorite, if not my favorite, video game series of all time. Not franchise. I don't even want to say that because the background in and out of this game is nuts. Also, before I forget, I do want to get out there, of course. My window closed. How y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Lawnmower Man Joe. Good morning, Artie. Hold on. I have things in different spots. I had one thing I was gonna do, which was plug in these headphones and take off these because no, these ain't them, motherfucker. Oh yeah, never mind. They're right here. Let's get the shout out going for Artie. We're kicking it off. We're kicking it off. Someone is awake. Yeah, dude. 10:45. I woke up like, holy shit! I gotta get up, do things. But yes. Let's see. Lost my thing. Okay, turn this off. We don't need that. So yes. Anyway. Good morning. Good morning, Bread. All right, I'm going to switch this over so I can actually read chat now that I got everything working. Had to make sure the things were working first. All right, so I don't need this anymore. This headset is bye-bye headset. I hope everyone's doing good this morning. I slept like a rock. Okay, so this is what I was saying earlier. I stayed up playing this fucking game. Oh my God, Artie, that Galaxy Champions TV, I'm so fucking hooked on that. I stayed up till 2 in the morning trying to beat normal mode, and I keep getting to the end, and this motherfucker. Oh my God, this guy is such a bitch, but he just keeps killing me. He keeps killing me. I'm pretty sure I have to beat that guy on normal to unlock Kitty, the Kitty skin, the Kitty character, because I unlocked Chief beating easy mode last night. But yeah, it's my fault. I stayed up playing. I was having way too much fun. All right, I gotta plug in these analog 3.5 mini headphones. So give me a sec. Here we go again. Let's play Find the Hole, huh? Oh shit, first try. Let's go. Artie, yeah, laugh out loud. When I got off stream last night, you were still going. Yeah, I was so hooked on that shit. I couldn't help it. It was fun. I love it. I love it so much. It's exactly what I needed. I needed that. I was like, man, I really want to play Elden Ring. I want to go practice pairing with that Crucible Knight. I want to go get my Halberd. I want to go get it to +3 if I can, all this shit. And I was like, oh, Galaxy Champion TV. Sounds about right. All right, I'm going to switch over my audio. Give me 1 second. All right. La 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 la. Yes, that's how we do the buttons. Okay. Okay. Got it. We're back. We are back. Kain or Raziel? What are we talking team? Team Kain? Team Raziel? I haven't even heard how I sound. Am I coming through clear? I feel like I sound like shit. I got a toothache, my throat is sore. But if you say so. That game is 7 on Steam. Audio is fine. Thank you. What game? Thank you, Lawnmower Man Job. Congratulations again on whipping butt in video games. I love how people still today they don't know how good video games are, you know, like what they do for you. Like video games. Oh, that's for kids. Yeah, exactly. Don't you want to be a kid? Who the fuck wants to be an adult? Do you see this world? I sure don't. Bam, boom. All right, now we have it. Now I have my setup set up. I think we'll see what happens. So I got my drinky poo. There it is. I found it. I'm actually also sitting in the dark because I'm not that awake yet. But I need to brighten up my phone so I can read chat because it's very, very dark. Okay, let's see. Galaxy Champion TV. Oh, yes, that is the game. Galaxy Champion TV. It's $7, dude. I got that on sale right now. I don't know. I mean, knowing what it is, I would probably pay $7 for it. The replayability is fucking amazing. But like once you unlock everything, it's like, okay, now I'm just gonna try to beat the game as badass and as hard ass as I can, you know. I don't know them well enough to choose. Team Kain for me. Oh, dude. Job, let me tell you something right now. I love Raziel to death. I love him to death. I love his character. I love everything about him, even his stupidity. I love it. It's just a part of his charm, right? But Kain is my man, dude. Kain is my man. I love Kain's arrogance, his fucking like how his not his arrogance. I wouldn't go that far. I love his approach to becoming a vampire. Like his just now this is something else I have to deal with, you know? Like it's like a peasant's problem. Like, oh God, I've caught the vampire. Like it's he sees it as a trifle. He doesn't realize at first he sees it as a trifling. It's you know, it's a pain in the ass. And and it's not until later where he matures. And mind you, it takes like, what, 3,000 years or 5,000 years? I always goof it up. I can't remember. I know they did some retconning with the timeline, but I think that the events of Raziel, the events of Soul Reaver, which is the second game, I'm pretty sure it's 3,000. Because there's a lot of time travel trickery in there too. So like half the time, especially in part 2, you don't know what timeline you're in. Half the time you're playing the fucking game in part 2. But with all the bouncing back and forth in 1 as well, it's like in the canon, like it's I'm pretty sure you're 3,000 years, 3 or 5, fucking plus minus 1, okay? It doesn't matter. It's millennia into the future. And the whole land from the first game is like, what land? It is fucked. It's fucked. Let's see. I think Artie would choose Raziel. I feel like he's a Team Raziel guy. Raziel's amazing, but Kain teaches him about free will and defying fate. Right? Exactly. Kain just wants to defy his own fate, but manipulates, convinces. I like how you put that. Manipulate / convinces, you know. Yeah. Raziel to serve him in the end. Yeah, Kain is my guy. Defiance is so good. Dude, I love Defiance. Aside from all the biggest complaints for people who aren't familiar with the franchise, especially anything after the first game, is the combat. The combat. I If there's one thing I can say and agree with what anyone's ever says about the combat in these games, I 100% like I rather have the combat in Blood Omen 1 sometimes when I'm trying to like and again, I'm going to plug in this really amazing retrospective that was done like 3 years ago. No, 4 no, no 3 2021. Yeah. Um and it breaks down each game and what the pros and cons were for the time, and because it's done by someone who actually played them. I think the only one that they did what I did. We played, Cook and I played. We knew about Blood Omen, but it wasn't like high on the radar again. But then Soul Reaver came out, like it was coming out, and we saw the commercials on TV, and we were like, man, that looks so fucking cool. Oh my God, I can't wait to play it, And the PlayStation 1 game, it's like, okay, let's go. And then we found out about the Blood Omen before that. It's like, oh, this is a sequel? What's the other game like? And then we realized it's like a 2.5 top down, this aerial kind of 3D wannabe, like it's like a two. Yeah, that's why I say 2.5. And it was amazing because we're retro kids, so we're like, whoa, this is so cool. This is where this game came from. Fuck me. Oh my God. Of course they went, like they could just go up from here, and then Soul Reaver 2 was fun. It was a fun game. It was fun. I can't say it wasn't fun. It had its little whatevers, again, combat, but it was fun. Getting to traverse the land in different timelines, getting to talk to Kain, seeing the two characters together, like, kind of cordially instead of just trying to kill each other. It's wild. It's the dynamic between these two is just, it's so well done and written and breathily executed by the voice actors. I mean, nobody had done anything like that, so especially not in the States on this scale, with the amount of production that went into addressing the story and executing the focal points in something that was going to be unraveled, and this is where we are. We're left with a fucking Finnegan's Wake of a game series. Soul Reaver was my first. Yep, me too. Then Blood Omen 2. Really? Holy shit. Wow, you went from good to the least liked game in the series. Okay. Yeah, I went from Soul Reaver, then to Blood Omen, then to Soul Reaver 2. When Soul Reaver 2 came out, Cook got it for Christmas. And we were over at his house playing that shit, like nonstop. Like we gotta get through this before we all gotta go back to college. I was playing Soul Reaver 1 in college, which is why my first semester wasn't the best. But be that as it may, I was like, I had a little TV. I had my bed put up on center blocks, and I had a little small 19-inch TV. Cather Ray 2, baby, little baby one with rabbit ears and everything, but we didn't need that. I just had that tucked underneath my bed, and I'd sit there with that game and the guide and like explore and only look at the guide when I was like, okay, I'm stuck, because it's easy to get lost and stuck in Soul Reaver 1. It's so easy to be like, where am I don't know, everything looks the same, oh my God, but I didn't wind up beating it until I came back from college. I was on break, aka got kicked out, and I was working at the Grand Union down a ways from my home with Cook, and we were going over to his house and playing it. Or it was during that Christmas season, because it was me and Cook and the horse. I'm not gonna divulge the horse's real name. We're not really happy with the horse, Cook and I, so I'm not gonna blow up people's spots. But the horse, Cook and I, we we beat the shit out of that game. And I say we again, okay, and a lot of people they're like, "What do you mean? Like you all beat it over break?" Like, no, we all beat it over break because we were in the same room sharing a fucking controller, doing boards and levels and stuff and getting through it together because there's certain things that I'm not good at. Here you go, you try. I can't do this. Okay. Oh, I got it. Yeah, all right. We did it. I knew you could do it. That's the feeling. Let's see. What are we Then Blood Omen 2, when you pop Soul Reaver in the PS1, I know you, Raziel, you were instantly. Yeah. I know you. Well, that's what I'm. Tony J is a legend. We just watched something with Tony J in it. And I can't remember what it was. We were watching a list. Cabana Man Cam and I were watching a list of 80s shows that were like, they were obscure, but they were huge for us kids back then. And I was like, oh shit, that's Tony J. And then there's another list where he was on again because he's such a predominant voice actor. He did everything. Rugrats, you name it, he was in it. Transformers. Like his voice. So they casting him as the Elder God with that unique, low, growly, raspy, yet gentlemanly, British voice. It's like he just, oh my god, that demeanor, the execution of every single one of his lines. Like if I had an AI, see, this is where I'm going. If I wanted an AI to live in my house, it would have Tony J's voice in it talking to me. And I would be like, I don't know if I would say, hey, Tony, because it's a little formal. I didn't meet him. I might say, hey, Mr. J. If he was knighted, I'd say Sir J. But I'd say, hey, Mr. J, can you play me that song? You know, the one I like. And his voice would come on. Aye, Captain. I can't even do it justice, but could you imagine the Tony J aye, Captain coming out of the fucking speakers in the house and then just, oh, amazing. Playing my jam, Tony J. Oh, I love Tony J. He's my favorite. He's my favorite voice. And they're all good. Simon Templeman and the guy who does Vaziel's voice, I always forget him. And fucking Renee, big ass long name. They named a terminal in like Norway or Holland after him. Fucking Otto from Deep Space Nine, Star Trek. He does the voice. He's the voice of Janice Aldrum. Dude, when we found out that he was the voice of Janice Aldrum in Soul Reaver 2, and Cook and I were just like, oh my god, video games are so cool. They're getting even cooler. All right, let's see. I'm catching up with the chat. The dialogue is too good. Oh, yeah. 100%, Job. As long as it's not a horse named Bill. Nope, it's not. His name is not Bill. I can assure you that. I know what you mean. Gonna check. Gonna check Tinga for Tony J. Tinga, is that like one of those futuristic programs? I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. I'm terrible with future tech. I'm terrible. I'm also having a problem with this head. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's the problem. It was just stuck on a wire. So, yes, it's official. I am Team Kain. Not that like certain people didn't know that. I'm sure Cook did, but we're big Raziel fans, And Kain is a fan of Raziel. I mean, the whole time he's like, Raziel, listen, look, you don't understand. Like what I never understood, like when I was a kid and I saw the intro to Soul Reaver, and it starts with that boom, bam, dun, dun, bam. I was like, whoa, the fuck, the synthesizers, let's go. And then getting to the point where you're like watching the history of Nazgoth. Like, so the very beginning of the game takes place about 3,000, 5,000, boom, after the events of the first game, Blood Omen. But then it's like 1,000 years after that we're actually playing the game. So from the time, this is what I always thought was fascinating. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I know there's another game and you play Kain, so you get to see the world before it's like this. Okay, I got that, right. Okay. But then you're looking at the world. You're looking, that intro shot shows you, like, I think it's 2 places that we can go. It's definitely the content area with the fucking haystacks, the just throwing all the smoke and the smog into the air. And now we may get that in the new remaster, I'm not sure, but that was intended to be an area that you reached, and it was supposed to be I think that was supposed to be Dumar's realm, the one that you get the construct ability from. I hate that fight. I hate it. I hate it. Don't get me started on that fight. It's horrible. Took me way too many tries because I was like, I can't. The camera's changed. And again, they say it in the retrospective, and I've always thought the same thing. It's the same thing with the fucking Capcom with Resident Evil. It's supposed to be cinematic so that you can't change what you're seeing. And I'm like, right, but I can't do things. You hit shit off camera. Like, is that for suspense? Stop hiding shit where the camera can't go. How the fuck do I know to look there? That's the shit that used to piss me off. Chew on breakfast. I would adore some breakfast. I will try just not chewing. I'll mash it all into a pulp, and then I'll just like slop it into my mouth. Oh, it's like blurb or sound alerts. Okay. Oh, gotcha. I now remember what you're talking about. That song goes so hard. Yes. Play it for Artie. I can't play anything. I'm not that cool. You're going to get the remaster and stream them? Yes. So, Job, I finally got my pre-order on the 5th. I've been meaning to pre-order it since November, but my little old dog slightly passed away on the 15th. So, like, everything kind of bills, buying shit, pleasure of all kinds kind of just went out the window for a few. But we're back on track, back to streaming. Although this week was hard. I had so much work at work to just, I had to bring home work so I could like focus on that and kind of recover my strength. Plus, this weather is fucking balls. Ugh. It's just so cold. You can't even think. I'll take some Artie. Yeah. I don't know what he's making, but I'm sure you'll eat whatever he cooks. He cooks really good. I eat everything he makes. But yeah, I'm going to stream him. The 10th is what, a Tuesday, right? I believe. I'm checking the calendar now. Let's see. Yeah. So on the 10th, I will be at work. Or in court, because I got summoned for jury duty and I'm not happy about it. Because it inconveniences me with my money. And then it inconveniences someone who has to drive me and drop me off. You know, one inconvenience a day is tolerable. I'll allow it. But 2, I don't like that at all. Ham and cheese omelets. Yum. Yeah, we gotta get some mushrooms, man. Mushrooms. Oof. And some feta cheese. Sprinkle it on top. And then you add the hot sauce. Oh my god. I didn't realize how hungry I am till right now. But yeah. So, Kain, Raziel, they're interconnectedness and how, I never understood in that big so that big cinematic that you see in the beginning is like, oh, okay. Oh, hold on one second. Whoop. Huh. That's weird. Okay, never mind. That false alarm. Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. Big yeah, 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 yeah. Um, so you get that intro scene where you're inside the sanctuary, which was once the Pillars of Nosgoth. So you're like, oh shit, that's the pit. Now, people, I imagine that people who played Blood Omen saw that and went, whoa, no shit. And then they were like, why does he look like that? But for us that did not know Blood Omen, or knew of it but didn't play it, we didn't know it intimately. And weren't as passionate about it because we were just so fixated on Raziel. We didn't know anything about Kain. Kain is not even in the title of the fucking game. Well, it is. It's Legacy of Kain. But you know what I mean. Like, it's like what does that mean? I'm playing a character named Raziel. Like, that's weird. But this looks so cool. And then you hear Tony J and you're like, yes. Oh, you send me. So, for me, I was like, wow, look at all these, like, this is like futuristic gothic shit, sort of with a splash of Egyptian, there's like a little bit of everything in there. And dude, there's so many similarities to this game, to Elden Ring. It's so funny. I was talking to my friend yesterday because they had seen, they know the retrospective I'm talking about. I will plug it in. I will put a link. I'm also going to give credit to the wonderful artist that did this. I have it. I'm just trying to pull it up. Pulling it up on my phone has been tricky. Doing anything this morning has been it's like a MXC challenge right now, guys. It's real. Navigating is very hard right now. But getting in that room, seeing Raziel walk in, and having their little drapery, sigil, cloak shit going on, and him kneeling down, and like his wings just and you're like, whoa, we get wings? I'm so confused. Wait, I thought he was blue. Your brain is trying to deal with it. And then you realize, okay, this is a flashback scene. There's Kain. He's got up. That's the Soul Reaver, whatever the fuck that means. Play important later. But right now, it's like a beautiful sword prop. And then devastation. Fucking roar. Like, what the hell? What is going on? Why did this just happen? And then the next thing is that flowing opening cinematic of the world from a bird's eye view watching. That's why there's so many birds. Like, I the moment I saw that, and I played the intro a few times, because I'm like, oh my God. The bird's eye view is the only time we see, not the only time, but like what I want to say is the first time we get that view of the outside in its expanse to the as far as the eye can see. And then later on you're like, man, I wish I could see up there. Fuck, I don't know where I am. God, I wish I was a bird, because there's digital birds flying around that get stuck all the time. They're flying around, and I thought, oh my God, that the bird we were seeing from the bird's point of view when we were being dragged by our brothers. I think it's Terrell and Rahab that throw him in, I'm pretty sure. And Kain just says, cast him in, and fucking tosses his, oh my God, dude. The cinematic, thank you so much. Can I have hot sauce? Oh my God, you're great. All right, we're getting omelets. But that scene, fucking, the moment he hits the water and his body just goes, I love it. It was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck up whoever did this to me, because it makes you mad. You're like, why did this happen to poor Raziel? Thank you. And like, what did he do? He just got some wings. Don't be jealous. And like, you're led to believe what he believes, that you're made to suffer because of some arrogant king vampire shit, and it has nothing to do with that. But I was always like, why couldn't you just talk to me? Why couldn't you just talk to me and tell me this? All right, The art for this is done by someone with the amazingly appropriate name LadySaraphan. So, from deviantart.com. I will put it in the chat right now. And then oh my god. I'm one-handed. Hold on, I'm putting my plate down. All right. Okay. So why? Why is this not working? Oh my god. That's so funny. Okay, now we're oh, you know why? I forgot that my phone's barking at me and I didn't understand why. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, it's dying. That's a problem. Mmm. That hot sauce is permeating my nose. It's so good. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to handle 5 things here. There we go. Okay, do that. We're good. Blah, blah. All right, that's done. Playing with my monkey is like my monkey. Playing with my monkey. Oh, what are you doing over there? Anywho, let's take a safety quill. The quills have saved me, but if I safety quill right before bed, like I normally do, normally I don't oversleep. But today I totally did. But I never understood. I never understood why he threw him in. Like, I'm like, okay, you killed your lieutenant because his dark gift surpassed you, and you were like, wings! Now we can finally fly out of this chasm and see what the rest of the world is like. Like, I don't understand. I never understood. Except for Kain was like, well, I'm all out of ideas. I think that now is the time with the advent of wings to do this. And I am justified because I am king and nobody's going to question my actions. Yeah, it's good to be king. You know, like what the fuck? What happened? I don't get it. Uh-oh, I got to reconnect. That's what happened. Okay. Whoops. Here we go. Ah, ha, ha, ha. I see what happened. Yeah, sometimes the Twitch app on the phone is a little weird. But yep. LadySaraphan, mwah, beautiful, beautiful work. I love this picture. It's my favorite. It's my favorite ones of the ones I've seen. So, yeah, the experience, you know, going through the time in my life that I was, and then playing this game, and then coming back home, returning home to my friends, and like us sitting there and beating the shit out of this game, and seeing the end and going, what the fuck did I just play? What the fuck just happened? Are you kidding me? That's how they ended it? What the hell? So it made us want to go find the first one, and we did. We both of us. We both found copies of Blood Omen. I think Cook found me another copy. I may have two copies. I know I have two cases for it. So I don't know. PlayStation 1 discs are weird. Job left. He went to go get breakfast. Already made him hungry. Um, but going from that game back to the previous one, so the very first one of the series, Legacy Kain, Blood Omen, Legacy Kain. All right, so Blood Omen comes out. You know, it's like 1996, I believe, and you know, you're playing this. I fell in love with Kain more as a character because I was digging the whole, you know, especially the confrontation in Soul Reaver 1. After you kill Malkaya and you get the ability to phase through fucking gates. Woo. That's a big one. That comes in handy. Like more often than you think. But you get to go into the sanctuary, which is where the pillars were, and you go in and Kane's waiting for you. He knows you're coming. So I was like, oh my God. So did he just do this? Again, I'm questioning. I'm like, dude, did you just like say, what would happen if I killed my lead lieutenant that winged me, you know? And then you go, you go into the chloroplast chamber, and you're like, all right, so I'm start pulling knobs. Let's see where he is. Hello, Luna. Mwah. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Everybody's been swinging by this morning. It's nice. It's nice to see everybody. I've been gone. Hello. Good morning, Nicholas. The man, the myth, the legend. That guy. We're talking about my favorite video game series of all time. Oh, you was playing. You was playing Helldivers too. Good job. That guy. Yeah. Is that guy. Ooh, which series? Oh, the Legacy King. I played that 2 months ago. Wait, what are we talking about? Helldivers? You played that 2 months ago? You better get on it. All right, give me 1 second. BRB, guys. I will be in chat, but I'm going to just mute my mic real quick. What? I hear a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche. You know what I'm saying? Scaramouche. All right, we're back. I leisurely inhaled my breakfast. Editing this is going to be hilarious. I know. So anyway, happy Saturday. We're here. We're in the chaos. Yeah. I forgot I wasn't supposed to have anything acidic. But I put hot sauce on my omelet because how could you not? And it was delicious. But I only chewed on my right side. And it's an omelet, so it's kind of fluffy. You don't really have to chew. But I think a little piece of hot fell right in a spot you shouldn't have. And it's just making its way down to the nerve that's in my jaw. Oh, no, it's all right, Luna. It's okay. Pain, I laugh at pain. I laugh at pain. Unless I stump my toe. That's not laughing. That's owing. It's goofy shit like that. Like, I almost lost the tips of my pointer and middle finger, like, years ago. Cook was there. Cook's been there for my finger things. It's so weird. Like, I jammed my right middle finger while we were hiking. And for like 7 months. I don't know if it was that long. It was a long time. It was months. My ring was stuck on my finger. My knuckle got big. And then at Cook's house, we got string. We were watching videos on trying to get it off without having to cut my ring. Because I was like, I'm not cutting this ring. It's not happening. Fuck it. That's it. It'll never come off. Whatever. It'll never come off. So, we got olive oil, and Cook just like kept twisting and going. He's like, I don't want to hurt you. I'm like, you're gonna have to because I want this ring. So just don't worry about it. Don't listen. No, I'm fine. I'm gonna cover my mouth. I won't make a sound. And then it came off, and I was like, oh my god, yay! It's finally there. And then I wear it on my other hand now, the other middle finger. But that was that case. And then Cook was visiting. And this is before Corona. No, this was during Corona. This was like 2022, 21 in there. And they had finally said, people can move around now. So he came up here. And we lost power. And it was in the summer. But we got power back. And then I had to go to work. But I also had to trim my hedge. And I forgot about it. And my neighbor was like, hey, are you still coming to do the hedge? And I was like, shit, Cook. I'm over there playing video games. Like, fuck, I gotta go to work. So rushing, doing the hedge, not typically how I normally do it. The extension cord towards the end. I was almost done with the hedge. And then I was just doing... jump upstairs, get out of the fucking, foresty clothes, wash up, had just enough time to get all that shit on, and then go to work. My work was not far. It was like 10 minutes. And the extension cord jumped from my shoulder where I had it, and it was falling into the blade. So, I was like, oh, fuck. So I tried to stop it with my elbow, raising it, and I put the hedge trimmer down. Because when you let go of the power, it shuts off. So I let go, and I started putting it on the ground while the cord was falling through, and I went to go scoop the cord up, and I missed the first time, and I was like, I'm not gonna have a blowout in my house. I just got electricity back. So I went and scooped in the second time, and the last pump of the blade caught both my fingers. So all I felt was like a pinch, and I was like, oh shit, that was close, Move the cord out of the way. No loss of power. Yay, I did it. And then I look down, and my fingers are fine. And then they're not. And I was like, oh, fuck, I did catch myself. Shit. I go upstairs. Cabana Man Cam is sleeping. I'm on the first floor because nobody is living there at the time. And we're upstairs. And I'm running water. And I'm like... This is not stopping. It's starting to throb. Should probably call Cook. But he never answers his phone. Hopefully he does now. Like, this is my thoughts going through my head. I call him. He actually answers. I'm like, oh, good, you picked up. He's like, hello, what's up? And I'm like, can you come downstairs? I caught myself with the hedge trimmer and I'm bleeding. And it's not stopping. And he's like, okay. He comes downstairs and he doesn't come into the bathroom or even in the doorway. He just peeks his head in. He's tall. So he just peeks his head in and he's like, so what happened? And I go, I got myself with the hedge trimmer as it was turning off. And he's like, And my fingers are starting to turn white and I can't get the blood to stop. And he goes, yeah, we have to go to the hospital. And I whip my head around. I'm like, really? We really have to go? Can I just crazy glue this? He goes, no. This is stitches. And I was like, oh, no, Cook, no. He goes, yes. And I go, no. I've never had stitches before in my life. I've never broke a bone. He's like, well, you're going to have them because that's stitches. And I'm like, fuck. Okay. So I had to call work and say, hey, I'm not coming in. I hurt myself. I need stitches, blah, 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 blah. I'm back. Wait, what? Oh, my God. Nicholas, you're funny. Just telling you about a horrible story about me almost losing my fingertips. I'd fed Captain Luna. She would not eat if I didn't force her. I forget. Pain drains the battery, though. It does. Oh, my God. That's why I was out. Like, plus, I took, like, another 3 ibuprofen, so whatever the fuck meant, 600 milligrams, I think that is, right? Yeah. And I was clunk. You tried talking him out of taking you to the hospital. Oh my God. What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do with you? Because I've never, no, I've just never, never, not until now I can't say I've never, but at the time, and I was like 38 years old at the time. And man, that's like, oh my God, that's a while ago now. Jeez. But yeah, whoo, boy. So I said, okay, if we have to go to the hospital, I need you to wake up Cameron, but gently, with some force, but just don't scare him. Just let him know what's happening. And he's like, okay. And I feel comfortable enough with the amount of water that I just pumped into my fucking fingers to have Cook help me just wrap something around them so I can keep them elevated and get upstairs and start grabbing stuff. So we go upstairs. Well, he goes upstairs. I'm ready. I'm behind him slowly, being careful, gingerly walking, making sure that I'm not leaving drops of blood everywhere. And or does he come downstairs? No, I had to go back upstairs because I needed to tell him where things were, like my wallet, this, that. So I'm upstairs and I meet him as he's walking towards me the other way, and he's like starting to panic. I go, no. Take a deep breath. I'm not panicking, so you can't panic. And then he's like, okay. And then we just go. We go grab the keys. I got all my stuff. Excuse me. Like my wallet. And we got another towel. And then, we were off to the hospital. And the crazy thing is like, this was at like Corona height. So the hospitals were empty. Like there was no one in the waiting room because you weren't allowed to wait. You had to drop somebody off and cut out and have the hospital call you when they're ready. So you had to leave your name and number and stuff. And they put it in the file work for the patient that was checked in. And then that's it. So they couldn't even stay with me. I was by myself for my first stitches ever in my life. I couldn't have someone hold my hand. I had to do this all by myself. And that sounds like an easy task. But when it's your first time, you know, in these circumstances, you usually have someone with you. Like, they can't be with you with x-rays, of course, but you have someone with you to, like, make you feel better. So all the nurses were, like, my new best friends because they're, like, well, they're goofing out. Well, first, they couldn't find me in the computer because I didn't exist. I was changing doctors, and like, they had my health card. It was valid, but they needed to put a doctor down, and I didn't have one yet. So they couldn't do their search in the computer because of that. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So they started asking me questions and I was answering them fine. So I knew, like, okay, I couldn't have lost that much blood. I'm fine. I'm no stranger. This is not the first time I've fucked up a finger and had to go to the hospital. So I was like, okay, at least I know that much. But they took a look at it and they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna need stitches. Because I asked, I was like, do I really need stitches? Can we not just, you know, suture glue this shit? And the nurse was like, no, you're gonna need stitches. I'm like, fuck, I've never had them. She goes, what? How old are you? And I was like, 38. She goes, wow, well, you made it. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. And I'm like, oh, and they're talking about their story. Dislocated this and this elbow, that. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, be that as it may, the other nurse comes in. The nurse that's going to be sewing me up comes in, and he's mad chill. And the other nurse goes, hey, guess how old she is? She's never had stitches. And he's like, really? What? 38. And he goes, wow. Have you ever broken any bones? I was like, no. He's like, okay, well, we're going to take you for x-rays. Just make sure you didn't catch the tip of your finger. And I'm like, I'm sure I didn't. He goes, well, we're going to check. I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. It's not my favorite thing to do. And the whole process was just so surreal because I'm there just with him now. And we're like, he's walking me through the motions because he understands that I've never had this happen. When you're talking to a kid who's about to get their first stitches, it's different when you're talking to a responsible kid like me who is 38 years old, does not know anything that's what's about to happen. This is my first rodeo. So I'm talking to him. We're laughing. I'm bleeding, but we're laughing. We're having fun. And then he whips out this tray, and I take one look at the tray, and I gasp, and I'm like, and he goes, no. All this is not for you. And I'm like, you're right. It's not. I can tell you that. You didn't need to tell me that. I can tell you that's not for me. And he just starts laughing. And he's like, no. I said, so tell me what we are using for me. And he goes, this right here is to sew you up. This here is for the numbing agent. And he whips out this big ass needle. I'm like, nope, no, it's not. It's not the numbing. That's not. And he goes, no. This is not. I'm not going to stick you with this. And I'm like, you're right. And he starts laughing again. And he's like, no. This is for me to get the medicine into this. And I'm like, a decent size needle. Thank you so much. Regular fucking shit. And the tip of this thing was tiny. It was thinner than a hair. You could barely see. It was so little. I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad. Man, he fucking hit me with that shit. And before that, though, I told him, I said, listen, I have a high tolerance. I've done a lot of drugs. Obviously, I'm 38 years old. A lot of 38-year-old people have done their fair share of experimental drugs. So I have a high tolerance. So whatever you give the average person or kid who just happened to fucking need stitches, you're going to have to double it for me, okay? It's the same at the dentist. It's the same. And he goes, okay, no problem. Say no more. He shot me with that shit. And all I felt was like a moment of like pressure. And then it felt like cool air was going into my finger. And I was like, huh. Is this supposed to feel cool or is that nerve damage? Do I have nerve damage? And he's like, no, you're fine. It's all fine. That's supposed to happen. Great. Okay. And then he goes and takes that curvy bit that they use to sew. And he goes, okay, I'm going to run this over your finger and you tell me when you can feel it. All right. And I'm like, sure. But I'm not going to look at it. And he goes, no, don't look. So I have my head turned away and he's running it over my finger and I feel it from my knuckle. So I know, it's not that far down. The numbing agent is not supposed to go that far. And I feel that. And he goes, do you feel this? And I'm like, no. And he goes, okay, do you feel this? No. Did you feel that? No. Did you feel this? Yes, I felt that. He goes, okay, we're going to give it some time. I said, oh, okay, do we need another one? He goes, no, you're fine. So then he goes, all right, can you feel this? And I'm like, no, you can't feel any of that. No, it's numb. Great. He goes, we're going to wait a little bit though. I wanted to get more into your system. And I gave you so much that your fingers are not swollen. So if I start sewing you up, you're going to have nasty looking scars. And I was like, all right, hey, you're in charge, whatever. You're the professional. So we made it like 5 minutes. And then you could see the difference from the swelling. It wasn't from the impact. It was from the fucking numbing agent he gave me. And he goes, okay. And I'm watching him rub my fingers. Can't feel it. Double checking, triple check, because that we're going in. And I do not want nasty scars. He was like very like, okay, we do not want that. And then he went to work and we were talking. Didn't feel nothing. It was great. We were done before I knew it. I was like, wow, that's crazy. He told me what I had to do. Fantastic. Then they had me getting ready to go to the x-rays. And this is when the whole part of this non-Legacy of Kain story gets frustrating. Because this broad was like, can you turn your hand like this? Can you turn your hand like this? I said, I can't move. I am pumped full of Novocaine. I can't even open. You see the way my hand is wrapped? I can't do anything else but this pose. You want another pose? You better rewrap my hand. But do not touch this because I think the numbing agent started to wear off. And this lady didn't want nothing to do with me. She just looked at me and blinked. And I was like, I'm straight with you. My fucking right hand might be fucked up, but my left, boy, oh boy, is ready. So she finally gets the x-rays done. They bring me back upstairs. And they said that, Cameron and Cook had called checking for me on my phone. And I was like, oh, okay, good. So what should I tell them? And then I tell them it's going to be about another half an hour. And I said, okay, cool. She goes, yeah, if you want to get food, because we're going to have to give you pills. Okay, probably. So they tell me that the blade nicked my bone in my middle finger. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. Probably is, because sometimes, boy, it itches like crazy, but it's not the itch on the surface, it's the itch inside. So I don't know. I never saw the x-ray, so who knows? I like to believe that I didn't, but there's some days that I think they're right. So we're just going to live the rest of our lives in that conundrum of perplexity that doesn't really matter unless it's itching. But that was the adventure for there. I called. I said, go get me some sushi. They went and got sushi, picked me up. We had to go get our medicine for me. We told them my pharmacy. And since then, I have a different pharmacy because of this. This is what caused me to change pharmacies. We drive up to the fucking window. They told, I called ahead, got my stuff. The lady, instead of saying what she should have said, she says this. Oh, your insurance doesn't cover this medicine. And I'm like, I'm sitting in the passenger seat. Cabana Man Cam is driving. And I'm taking a deep breath with my hand wrapped up to Kingdom Come. It looks like Mount Everest is on my hand. I have like a snow peak. And I'm like, And no one says it. Everyone's quiet. I said, okay, so how much is the medicine? She goes, oh, it's like $53. I said, okay, then maybe lead with that next time. Telling me that my insurance doesn't cover it and then not saying anything else kind of leads me to believe that I can't get my medicine. $53, I'm in pain. You see this? I'm hurting. I'd really like to not hurt. Oh, okay, sorry, ma'am. Like, I lost it on this lady because you lead with, well, the medicine is $53, but your insurance doesn't cover it, so you'd have to pay for out of pocket. Is that okay? Then we know what the stakes are. Don't just lead and then come to a full stop with, well, your insurance doesn't cover it. Now, if it's like, $50 a pill, we have a problem, but $53, bitch, give me the fucking pills. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. It still makes me mad. The worst part of this whole thing is that I just got a shit ton of video games in this bundle for Xbox. And now, like, I could play, but I couldn't play as well as I could with a fucking full set of fingers. So that was a little bit annoying. But, yeah. That's my rant about my fingers. Back to Legacy of Kain. Back to it. All right, what happened? What did I miss? What did I miss on my injury stories? Oh, really? Okay. You're so tough. No. I just laugh. I was laughing at pain. That's how this whole thing got started. I laugh at pain. It was disturbing for... It's most of the time disturbing for people when I laugh at pain. If it's not a funny bone incident or something. But, like, the nurse guy, he was so funny. He was laughing with me, which made it feel better because I wasn't hurting. I was just like more distraught than anything and confused and bewildered. But man, the healing process with this thing was the most painful part. It wasn't like the whole act of getting the stitches and all that shit because I didn't feel it. It was way after that. I'm just like accidentally hitting it. Like you ever... when you fall off a high place when you're a kid and all the wind gets knocked out of you and you're like, and you're on the ground and somebody's trying to help you up, but you don't even have the capacity to move, let alone squeeze the shit out of somebody else's hand to get a lift up? It was like that, but like faster, instantaneous loss of breath. A hell of a lot faster than falling. And then like gasping. It was more like a and then you hold still or hold on to something so you don't fall. It was blindingly dizzy. It was like I hit my finger again. Oh, I need a moment. It's a fucking total reset. Like boop. It was bad. Already being a hero. Being exactly like a captain to I'm going down with this finger. Yeah, dude. I am totally going down with this finger. Not allowed to panic. No. It's easy in that you're not the doctor, though it's not easy at all, Nicholas says. Because you have nothing to focus on while the doctor works. Yeah. That's why they have to have good bedside manners. That way they can distract you from the stuff. And you have to be able to talk and work at the same time. Not a lot of people do that. There's people at my job that can't talk and work at the same time. I can talk and work at the same time, but that's just a skill you pick up when you're in the kind of environment that requires you to be able to do so. Luna says, oh, wait. Not the first time I've lost a questionable volume of blood. Nicholas. Luna says, I've never broken a bone either, haha, but I've had stitches only from surgeries, not injuries. Okay, well, yeah, see, that's, you expect it to be there, whereas I was like looking at Cook like, really? I can't just super glue this shit together and keep going? Like, he's like, no. He was the voice of reason. I have logic. I have the voice of logic. Reason is something else. Logic and reason, people think it's the same thing. It's not. Reasonable is more malleable. than logic. Logic is kind of stringent in its path. It's not as malleable as reason. You can reason with someone. Logic is like A to B. Reason is like A, couple of H's, some Q's, a W, a G, a V, and a B, and then you're there, you know? The trick is looking away the whole time. Yeah, that's it. Oh my God, Captain, I've done just the grassy stuff. Yep. Oh, you poor thing, yeah. I've only played with the grass. Oh, I want to give you a hug. Oh, hugs back, man. Mount hand. You see this? Right on the wall. This is my finger. I hunted it down and captured it myself. Right, just to warn you, the inn doesn't cover, so it's 53. Do you still want to get it? Your insurance doesn't cover it. Just to warn you. Right. 100%. Oh no, the gamer hand too. Yeah, it was a righty. I mean, I know a guy who have duct tape a chainsaw injury. He ended up in the ER anyways. Oh my God, duct taped an injury. Yeah, well that's a fucking chainsaw. Yeah, I mean, this was a piece of fucking equipment too, but thank goodness you had someone with the voice of reason. Yeah, Luna, I know. I don't, you know, sometimes I need somebody to tell me when to stop. I have a reason. I don't think I'm a reasonable person. I think I'm just more logical. That's what keeps me out of trouble. This is exactly why I don't go out. They're like, yeah, you want to go to the bar? We're talking yesterday with Rake. She came over, and we talked a little bit about podcast stuff, but like mainly it was just to hang out. We hadn't seen her in a while. And she's talking about, what do you guys want to do for New Year's? And I'm like, oh, fuck, I hate that question because I don't want to go to a bar. I'd love to go to Mashuda Chow's, which is a bar, but it's also an arcade, like with arcade cabinets. It has like, you know, air hockey and all that stuff and foosball and pinball machines. Like it's a dope ass place downtown. And I thought, yeah, we could all go there. That would be so much fun. Oh my God. So that might be happening in video games and stuff. I'm not a big drinker unless I'm in my house or somewhere where like I don't have to worry about, like I live by bars. So whenever I do feel the need to go and grab myself a little party hour, it'll be a frozen martini. And the only place I can get that is around the corner. And it sucks because I'm like, God damn it. Every time how come no one has a goddamn blender? Why is this such a, you know, hot commodity in the year 2024? I don't understand. I thought they came out in like the 50s or some shit. But I'm like, I just need a margarita. I just walk there. I like walking with my drink. Unfortunately, in this state, you can't do that. But like when I was in New Orleans for my birthday, oh my God. But that bartender told me, all right, here's your birthday drink. And I'm drinking and we're talking. And I'm like, yeah, I got to go walk down to so-and-so over the tracks. I'm on Burgundy. And she's like, oh, well, you can go take that with you. You don't got to sit here. It's ain't New York, baby. I was like, oh my God, I love you. And I got to walk around on a nice February day in New Orleans with my margarita, my birthday margarita. Oh, and another thing they do down there is like, you know, in Latin cultures, we have quinceañeras where, you know, they pin money to you on your 15th birthday. Well, down there, they do it every birthday. I walked around, I made $24 on my birthday. You know, I was given $5 first thing in the morning by Noah, my friend I was staying with. And then he gave me $3 to pin in front of it. Like, don't put the $5 out there, just put the $3. And I'm walking around New Orleans, never been there, and people are stopping me. This cat was on his phone, walking up to me, digging into his pockets, talking, didn't miss a beat. Every step was calculated. Talking on his phone. Hold up. Here you go. Happy birthday, miss. Thank you so much. Good looking out. Happy birthday. Have a good one. Bless. All right, I'm back. What's up? And just without stopping his feet. I was like, man, that's a professional birthday money giver right there. Wow. How the fuck? This dude was right. He had a bike tour. They were at a site. We were on the Esplanade, however you want to say it. And there was a light, and they're all in this group. There was like 12 people in there. He stops and he's like, oh, here's another New Orleans custom you might not see on a regular basis here while you're here, or your time here, or whatever. Birthday, happy birthday. And he's waving me over, and he's screaming happy birthday to me from across the street. So I come over, and I have the right away. So I'm walking over to him. He comes out, gives me a $5 bill, pins it on my chest. Happy birthday. All of these people and on their bikes. Happy birthday. I was like, hi, thank you so much. Dude, it was surreal. I felt like a fucking queen. I was like, oh my God, I got to make this a regular thing. Come to Mardi Gras for my birthday. Let's go. All right, we should probably get back to the game. All right, let's see. When I was in my early 20s, I'd put our drinks in a styrofoam cup and walk. White cup, little plastic lid. Nobody knows exactly. That's great for your birthday. Thank you, Luna. Yeah, it was fantastic. And yeah, Nicholas, Luna, you're right. I mean, over there they have drive-throughs where you could get daiquiris. And they have a straw on the side, taped to the side. What my friend told me is people do is that they punch a hole in the cup, put the straw in the hole, tape it back up, and they just have it sitting there. And every now and then they'll take a sip. I'm like, that's crazy. I can't deal with it. I can't. But they're used to that. They're used to that lifestyle down there. People can't drive like that. They can't drive sober here, let alone drunk. But yeah. Back to the game. All right. So when last we left them, we were talking about going back to Blood Omen after beating Legacy of Kain Soul Rerun and finding out a little bit more about Kain and what his deal was. Why? How did he get so fucked up? not that fucked. I mean, he's like, he used to have 5 fingers. Now he has 3 claws. Like what happened? That's a long time. That's thousands of years. The game that we first played took place thousands of years in the future. So we're like, damn, this dude is ancient at this point. If you pass a millennia, you're ancient. You're in ancient territory. This guy is fucking ancient to the fucking 5th power. Like, you know what I mean? He's out there. So you get to play him as a human. And you get to see the world that you tramped around and damn near got kicked out of fucking college for. All desolate and shit. Nice and pristine and beautiful. But there's a catch. You get to play him as a human for like 5 seconds. And then he gets killed. And it's like, what happened? What did I miss something? Why did these guys kill this guy? Because you start off the game, you've returned back to you're 30 years old. You're the son of a nobleman. You're an aristocrat. You have, your snooty, decadent taste. Your little fucking weird ass pleasures or whatever the fuck. But you're 30 years old. You're going on your roundabout, traveling around before you come home and settle and either take over the family business or they marry you off. This is your last hurrah before you do your next thing. But you're 30 years old. And I was like, wow, that's pretty unusual. But then again, he's an aristocrat. He probably has his own company, his own thing at that time, 30. Because, if you take anything from like old aristocratic families from like the 17th century, the 18th century, um, in that pocket. You know, they're all young men, or very rarely, but it did happen, established women in one form of another, but they're young because they got that money. Okay, get out, go do your shit. Their parents don't want them around. I raised you, get the fuck out. I'm looking for something here. Hold on one second. So I'm like, wow, he was 30 years old and he was just traveling around, you know, checking shit out. Look, you know, see, that's like you turn 30 and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go see the world. That's how it, you know, I always took it as, when, you know, he's traveling around, he's getting into all kinds of, you know, shenanigans. I mean, it could have been that he was just on vacation. It could have been, you know, hey, I've been working for the last 5 years without a fucking vacation. I'm going to go take one. Making money for the family business, you know. But we don't know any of that. That's all speculation. That's all just like my headcanon was like, well, he didn't really have to do anything, you know. His business was making him money, his trade or whatever the fuck he was running was pulling in that dough for his family. And it said because later on in the game we find out he's from Copenhagen. Not Copenhagen. Oh my God. He's not from Copenhagen. It's oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. It starts with an N. Why am I it ends with Hagen. He's from Hagen. N Hagen. I can't, it's just gone. I had Copenhagen in my mind. And now I can't get it out. I can't. I will look it up shortly. I can't remember. It's like a blank. Oh my God, that's so funny. But he's from there. We get there. And he's reminiscing. Now, the thing about the game that I love, and I think a lot of people would tend to agree, that in part 2, it was severely missing. You expected more of it in part 2 because it had the resources to do so, but we didn't get it. We didn't get it, which I was disappointed with. The only thing I could say about 2, aside from the combat that I was disappointed, was with that the Dark Prophecy, like you couldn't play back the cinematics. Every other game you could. Part Soul Reaver 2, you could not. It had it written in this dialogue with this font that glowed, and it was really hard to read. So when I was younger, I was like, I'm gonna record me with my big ass Panasonic Super VHS camcorder doing this, and then I'm gonna submit it and blah 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 blah, so that, you know, we can put it on YouTube or whatever. Like, I'll figure it out. I was like, now we don't have to think about that. But I was determined to have that somewhere where it's readily available to like look at and experience. Now of course they have all that together on YouTube. Many people have done it, but with understanding Kain's approach to the world, being successful because of his family, maybe himself too. He's very determined. And he's very determined to have a good time. He's very determined to get shit done. And he's very determined to have a good time. And he's very determined to get shit done and have a good time doing it. Kain doesn't do anything usually that's tedious. And when he is faced with tedium, he lets you know. He lets you know how the level of disdain he has for whatever he's about to do or seeing or is doing or, you know, has done. You know, after I left the castle, I was filled with disgust and revulsion at the fact that XYZ and da-da-da. Like, he lets you know his feelings. And he's letting you know because he's letting himself know. He's writing it down because he needs to. And the thing is that very fact of everything that he did in part 1 plays in every single fucking game. Even Blood Omen 2, which is a whole different thing because it's different timeline. It's still, that's why I was surprised that it was so few and far between in part 2, because that is a pivotal part of Kain. Writing stuff down, figuring things out with you. I mean, fuck, the game is half a puzzle. So you have to, like, it's all about deduction. And to have him not have that whole, detective reading back his notes kind of shit, or that reflection was really weird. That's why there are a lot of reasons why Blood Omen 2 is not a lot of people's favorites. It's like the least favorite in the series. And it sucks because you finally get to play him as he was, a vampire, but he still had 5 fingers. He was only 200 years after the events of the first game, and then, or it's 800, I forget. So there's, again, a little discrepancy with the timeline, because the flashback that happens in the game in the beginning is telling you, X amount of time has passed since the events of Blood Omen 1, which the canon ending, because there is 2 endings. The canon one is where Kain says, no, fuck you. Fuck your pillars. I'm done. His choice to not restore the pillars of Nosgoth leads with him developing a vampire legion and taking over much of the world. Now, in the original timeline, he succeeds at that. The world belongs to the vampires. However, there's no real need for them because the pillars are fucking broken. But the world pretty much goes upon its pace, and there's one human settlement that we know of in Soul Reaver 1 that we find that is left there purposely by Kain. Like, yes, once they were able to defeat Dumar, the giant one with the construct energy at the end of Soul Reaver 1. They're the humans impaled him. The vampires didn't do that. That's why most of his vampire clan is gone. They just wiped out almost all of his clan. His whole area is empty of, like, his minions. You see them in the beginning a lot of the times masked. They look like they're wearing masks, but, like, he doesn't have, like, he's not there to rule. So with the whole idea, getting back to the original point of having Kain live this long, extensive life all the way into these thousands of years into the future and see what became of everything. And then after his decision to cast Raziel away to the Lake of Fire and into the Abyss, and Raziel has been in there for 500 years. I'm pretty sure that's the appropriate timeline. So 500 years after, or it could be a millennium. It's not too far into the future. I think it's only 500 years plus minus another 500. But that happens. So when he arises, that time has passed from the future. So again, the games start in a certain time and then they go ahead or back. So and it started in Blood Omen 1. Again, like I said, the fact that he was doing this since he was basically a child, writing his dark diary, again, not being dark, but having a record of his doings, his comings and goings, instilled in him, so that way when the events of Blood Omen 1 happen, he's still doing that because he's reflecting in the only way he knows how. He's been doing it for so long. He's not a kid. He's 30 when all this goes down. He's 30 when he's killed. He's 30 years old when he's assassinated outside the tavern, and he dies at 30. Now, what you don't find out till later is that, again, the whole time thing is different, and not even counting Blood Omen 2. We're not even talking about that. Sticking to the original timeline, when Ariel is killed, and it's Nupraptor who does, not Nupraptor, Mortanius that does it, but again, like, you don't find out that way later, on purpose, because he's possessed by the Hilden. Kain is born into that noble aristocratic family. That is the moment of his birth when she's killed. And that it sends a whole problem throughout all of the Guardians of the Pillars of Nosgoth. Nopraptor is an insane amount of remorse, mourning, sadness, and anger, and it rips through all the other Guardians mentally, because he's the Guardian, the pillar of the mind. So this is a calculated attack on the Guardians of the Pillars of Nosgoth. Calculated. But that is in one part of the timeline. Prior to that, you see the attack. And that's the thing, is like the cinematics in the game, it kind of leads you to believe that one is following the other thing. No, these happen at different times. Vorador's attack of the Citadel, in retribution to what occurred with Janice Aldrum, is the last time anybody sees Vorador until we find him as Raziel. However, before that, Kain meets Vorador in his castle. So again, timeline gets a little crazy because we don't know at what point Raziel shows up at Vorador's keep in the swamp, but it has to be in the Blood Omen 1 timeline. So again, going back, we know that Kain does this. Hello, Camilla. Mwah. Hello, Ori. Hello. I'm coming to you. Kain has this whole like reflexivity. And when he starts putting pieces together in part 1, again, we don't find out most of this other shit till later. Like, especially like trying to put the piece together that him and Ariel are linked doesn't happen till the end of the game. So you're still, I remember playing Kain going, I know she is Ariel at the Pillars, and Tony J, the Elder God, you hear his voice like only twice, maybe in the entire game. You hear it very first time you hear it. It's not like, you know, Job was saying earlier how like you hear, you know, Raziel, you are worried, like Tony J's voice booming. You hear it once after Kain comes back to life as a vampire and seeks revenge, because that's all he cares about. He's upset that somebody killed him and he wants revenge. That's all he cares about. And again, that perplexed me because I was like, why? Is it just ego? Did he have something to lose? Was he close with his family? Did he not want somebody else taking over his shit? Like, it always, I was like, yeah, I'm mad that you're dead too. I'm mad. If somebody killed me, I would want revenge too. But like, why? Like, okay, the revenge is over. You didn't have another backup plan. You wake up as a vampire. You realize you have to feast on people's blood to survive. And he's kind of okay with that because he's a fucking nobleman's son. They're used to leeching off of peasants and fucking the what they deem lower class. So for him, it was just like, okay, now I'm elevated to the point where I'm a vampire. So now I'm above human. And for the rest of the game, he treats the situation as such. He's like, well, I got to get back to me. I'm going to beat this thing because I'm me. You know, his sheer confidence in his ability to beat this thing is amazing. And that's what I admire him about the most. Like that's why I think I identify with his character um the most, and why in part two again that was so lackluster, because we didn't see him reflecting as much as he did in his personal time. We saw a lot of cinematic conversations with other characters and see him thinking and getting little aerial shots of like how the board is mapped out and trying to figure out the way through. But in terms of Kane's notions, we didn't get better insight into him. He kind of came off as the same Kain he was in Blood Omen 1, but I felt like that wasn't accurate. I felt like by then he should have been more, if not a little calmer, more established in the tone in which he observed the world. Like the voice actor, oh my god, he's amazing. Simon Templeton as Kain is epic, that voice, but I don't think they gave him enough to work with. So his execution of anything that he's saying is him acting it out to his fullest, because when you see the first Kain and then you see the second one, you can see it. You can see it and feel the difference. It's like I never finished the second Kain. I've seen the end because my friend and we were playing it on his game and he made it to the end. But I got stuck at this one part and I was like, you know what? I can't. It's not the end of the world. I'll do this later. Like it didn't grab me because it was just so fucking frustrating. But his sense of determination and then coming to terms with it in the first game that maybe he's not going to get out of this. So he's like, that's why I love Defiance, where you get to go to his home. Because in part one, you go back to his town where he came from. And he's like reminiscent and he's disgusted by, the surrounding, like his whole ideology changes. What it matters to him is no longer what mattered to him prior to him becoming a vampire. Like, and you get to live this scenario. It kind of reminded me of like a character from Kindred the Embraced, like someone who was one of the vampire clans and like coming to terms with like how life was going to be like now, but instead of it being in a city, it's out in the wilderness, these little towns, these little this is like feudal Europe, old country, like Scandinavia, like it's a different world. It's a different Earth. They might not even call Earth there. It's a whole different world. Just happens to have humans on it and vampires apparently, and their vampires are totally different. They look the same, but they come from a different stock. Their origin story is totally unique, and that's one of the reasons why I love this game, because the whole vampire thing is like human vampires are a byproduct because of some bullshit that happened. It wasn't even like they were been there forever. Human vampires are the newest rendition of the vampire race, not its origin. And I was like, wait, what is going on? Are you kidding me right now? Dude, Defiance blew my mind. And then in part two, when you're finding out about the Hilden and the blue, like in part two was fantastic because you get to really dig deep into the meat of it. But in Soul Reaver 1, the biggest revelation for me, and again, you're playing Raziel, you're not playing Kain, so like I remember when, we fight Zephyr and we get the climb ability because Zephyr's a giant snake throwing its eggs at you, and I took me a little while to figure out how to deal with him. You talk to Ariel and she points you in the direction of a secret. And this is the shit that I'm like, okay, Ariel, I want to kill you, but you're already dead because you are the one that kept the secret. And I understand why. It's not, listen, I get it. She didn't want to tell Kain that he had to sacrifice himself because he was the guardian of the pillar of balance. without him first doing all this shit to restore the Pillars of Nosgoth. But a little bit of honesty would have gone a long way. Like, I would not have necessarily told him, hey, you have to die in order to restore balance. I would have said to him, hey, you know, I'm sorry that you didn't have any guidance. You weren't picked up and brought to us and trained to be a guardian of the Pillar of Balance. Your destiny was ripped from you by the same people who ripped my destiny. Although apparently she didn't know who killed her. She screams. You don't see her. She's wearing her scales. She's doing her thing. And I'm not sure if she's killed from behind. She does scream. I know she falls. Maybe she didn't see who it was. We know who it is. But she could have said, hey, you know this asshole? He killed me. Let's go fuck him up. No, instead, he has to figure out that Mortanius, the guardian of the Pillar of Death, is the one who resurrected him with the heart of Janus Aldrum, which was stolen by Raziel and his brothers in their human capacity and brought back to the Citadel. And he took it and put it in Kain, all in an attempt with Mobius to fuck. Well, see, and this is where it gets kind of iffy because I'm like, did Mobius know that the heart of darkness was inside him? Yeah, he does. You know why? Because he didn't know exactly how Mortanius did it. What he did know and understand, and he didn't know that Mortanius was possessed either, but he did understand that Mortanius turned him into a vampire, and that was all he needed to know as the key to undoing any sort of vampiric connection to the Pillars of Nosgoth. And that's where the whole thing kind of diverges, because Mortanius is doing his own thing. At first, they're together, but ever since Mortanius gets possessed by the Hilden, he's doing his scheming in a different way. So they plotted, this was their plan. They hit them and that other person who's not important because Mortanius kills him at the end. There's the guardian of Pillar of some shit. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is those three start doing shit after the events of the flashback with Vorador coming to the Citadel and fucking killing everybody except for the three of them, which we find out in part 2 why they weren't there to be killed in the first place, why Malik is late. But those three are doing shit with the new Guardians. So those three, okay, Malik, Mobius, and Mortanius are the only three left from the original, the OG Guardians of the Pillars that we know of after the vampires. Okay? Because at the time, when you play part 2, Soul Reaver part 2, you are the threat that has come into the castle. But nobody knows that because Mobius diverges attention to you with Malik. He tells him, don't let him leave. So you have some guards, you have Malik. Now, the Citadel's under attack. Mobius knows this. He knows it's under attack. He is well aware it's under attack. Mortanius knows as well that it's under attack. They too know this. Malik is not privy to this information. He didn't know that this was a part of their plan. He had no idea. And again, it's not a plan per se, but Mobius keeps Malik away from protecting the Guardian members because he wants him to deal with Raziel. That's why Malik shows up late. Because when we deter Malik and he shows up, 6 of the members are already killed by Vorador. And Vorador, instead of slaying Malik, just knocks him out. Boom! As a little bitch move, like, see, You were no match. You couldn't protect your people. Now you got to live with it. Boom. That's, to me, sounds like a vampire move. Like, just knocks him out. And because of that, Mortanius rips Malik's soul out of his body and bonds it, Wraith style, into his enchanted armor so he cannot fail the circle again when the new members start showing up, because the other 6 are dead. So now we have to wait for babies to come.